So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be performing and showing you a really cool card to pocket trick. This is a trick designed, I think it's by Rick Lax. The reason I think I can teach it is because it is on a free download on Penguin Magic. So therefore I'm going to be performing and teaching you that to you guys today. Does that sentence even make sense? I don't know, it doesn't really matter. So with all that said, let's just jump straight into today's performance. So, the idea is we're going to have the deck shuffled. It really doesn't matter the order of the cards. It's a regular borrowed shuffle deck of cards, and we don't even really need all of the cards to be here. So that's really cool. So we're going to get a card selected. So let's say they select this card right here, for example, the Jack of Hearts, and they're going to just sign this card, which is quite difficult to do, being a picture card. So we're just going to do a little scribble on the heart. That makes it nice and clear. So the idea is now we're going to take that card and we are going to give it a little bit of a tear right down the center here. Don't know why that was so difficult to do, but we've now torn the card and now it's completely different to any other card in the deck. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little experiment. We're going to take that card and we're going to place it somewhere into the middle of the pack here. So we're going to take this and we're going to leave it face down in the middle of the pack. Now obviously it's very clear to us that that is your card from the back as well, because it is torn and you can clearly see the tear right through the back of the card. And now a few of you might be thinking, well, you might have just switched the card, but I will show you very clearly that that is your selection. That's not very clear, is it? I'll just push it up a bit more for you. So that's your card, the Jack of Hearts there with the signature and the tear. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that card and we're going to push it into the middle of this section of cards over here. And obviously, actually, if you can just hold those cards for me whilst we deal with this, because I'm going to very slowly and fairly push this card into the middle section there. So it's completely 100% flush within the pack. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these cards and I'm going to place them into my pocket, which you can't really see, but I'm going to place it into my pocket, and I want the spectator to take those face-up cards that I gave them and just place them into their pocket. For the sake of the video, we're just going to keep them right there for now. Okay? So now the idea is, all we're going to do is I'm going to very quickly be able to try and locate your card from my pocket. Okay? So all it's going to take is a few seconds. That's 3, 2, 1. I think I've got it. It feels like I don't have anything at the moment, but I was so quick. I was able to take your card and place it into your pocket, into your packet. That was a fun sentence to say. If we very carefully take this packet now and spread through the cards, we have one face down card with a tear in it, and it just so happens to be your signed and torn Jack of Hearts. And if we take a look at the cards in my pocket, we can very clearly see that there is no duplicates of any kind. So that is the performance of Card to Pocket. If you want to learn how to perform it, then stick around. If you don't, then please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you in the next one. But if you're sticking around, I'll see you in a second. So guys, I realised halfway through performing this, it's quite difficult to do on your own, this trick. You ideally do need a spectator, otherwise it doesn't really make a lot of sense, some of the stuff that you do, and some of you might have caught on with that in the performance. But either way, I'm going to show you how to perform it, because I still think it's a really cool trick. So, what you're going to need is a deck of cards, and there are multiple ways, there are 2 ways. Multiple is not the right word. There are 2 ways you can prepare for this. You can prepare with just a regular normal deck of cards, but that way I find it is much more complicated, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I'd rather prepare my deck, and the way I prepare is I get a card and I already have it pre-torn like this. So you're going to be tearing a card right down the center to the center of the card. Okay, so if you can see that, That's what your card is going to look like, and that's essentially how you can perform this trick. And this card is going to be on the face of the deck. So I've taken the 2 of hearts, I've torn it right down the center, and it's on the face of the deck, and the tear is going to be facing away from you. Okay? So, once you've done that, or you're opting to start with a normal deck of cards without the pre-tear, and I'll explain how you can do that in just a second. I'll run through that after we've done the pre-tear version, okay? Just to make things a bit simpler. Okay? So, once you've got your pre-torn card on the bottom and it's in the correct orientation, you get a card selected. And this, let's say it's the 5 of diamonds, and they sign their name, perfect. And what we're going to do now is we're going to tear it across the face, but we're going to use it as cover to cover up the tear on our gimmicked card, let's call it. Okay, so we're going to use that as cover as we tear across here, just like this. Now the only difference here is if you were using a regular deck of cards without the pre-torn card, is you would have to take their selection, and I've already torn it now, place it on the deck, and then tear 2 cards but make it seem like one. I find that way too complicated, and if you could just already have the pre-torn card on the face of the deck, then it's just, why not? It's so much simpler, and no one's going to notice. So, you place the card on, you give it a tear, and then you take it off momentarily, okay? We'll move that out of the way, okay? So we're at this point now, and now we're going to do a couple of steps. Now these couple of steps you are going to be doing whilst they're once they're done signing their card, okay? The reason being is if you're doing it when they are just watching you and they're not doing anything, it looks a bit suspicious. However, this is the few steps you're going to be doing whilst they're signing their card. Is you're going to be getting a break above the top card here, which is the torn card, obviously. You're going to be swing cutting across. You're going to be converting that break even to a thumb break before that. Once you've converted it to a thumb break, you're going to be swing cutting across roughly about 10 to 15 cards. It really doesn't matter as long as it's a small amount of cards. And you're going to be using the right hand packet to flip those up in your left hand. Okay? And then what you're going to be doing next is you're going to be dropping off that at your thumb break here. So you're going to be dropping that break and leaving that torn card face down on top of those face up cards. And as we do that, we're going to be swing cutting it across another portion of about 10 to 15 cards and flipping those face up. Okay? And we're going to be keeping our thumb break here, as I said earlier on. Okay? So it should look something like this at the end. Okay? I'll just quickly run through that again for you guys. I'll just quickly reset everything. So we've got our torn card on the bottom, and we've got our break with our pinky. We convert that to a thumb break. We then swing cut across about 10 to 15 cards. We then dump that. As we get our break with our thumb, we're going to be dumping that face down card and leaving it behind as we swing cut another portion of 10 to 15 cards across and flip those face up. And we're maintaining our thumb break. So we're at this position right here, which is perfect. So what we're going to be doing once the spectator has signed their card and we're in this position, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our left hand here to pick up their selection, and we want the tear to be facing away from us once again. And now we're going to do a little maneuver here where we purposely don't show them enough their card because we want them to question whether this is their card or not, because we are going to be doing a little switch, but they're not going to notice because it is so well done. Okay? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be obviously saying we know that this is your card because it's got the tear down the middle, and we're going to highlight that you can see the tear right down the back of the card. And now you're going to push up the card a little bit, but not too much, because when you show the face of the card, you want to show very little of it, so you can hardly even tell that is their selection. Because what you're going to do next is when you push up again, is you're going to be using the actual deck here, as you align everything up, because you're going to be pushing and then leaving behind. You're going to be pushing up and squaring with the rest of the deck as you push up their selection, but you're going to be leaving behind everything at the thumb break. So you're left with this little situation here. So if you've got the torn selection, the torn decoy here, plus the torn selection in the middle. Okay? So I'll just quickly run through what that looks like again. So we've got their card like this. It's got a tear in it. We say you can see the tear through the back, but I'll show you the face, but we don't show very little much. And then we're going to push up again, but this time we're going to show more of the card as we ditch off the packet from our thumb break. Okay? So now we're showing their card. We're going to square it up with the rest of the deck as we then fan these cards with our right hand, turn our left hand back over, and then we're going to push this card, the decoy now, into the middle of this section of the deck, and we can immediately spread some of these cards in our left hand to show that we haven't actually done what is usually done for a different trick. I can't remember what the name of it is. But you get the idea. We've not done a typical move where the selection would actually be one or two cards down, so we wouldn't be able to spread because the actual selection is rather in the middle of this packet. So you've got a lot of freedom here. So as you've placed that card into the middle of this section, what we're going to be doing is just very casually hand off this section of the deck, the face-up section, to the spectator and just say, can you hold those for me? Because they've got a lot of freedom. They can pretty much, if you just hand them to them as if they're nothing, as if you don't care about them, they're not going to be interested. They're going to be focusing on here. So as you square everything up, you're going to very slowly just tap in and make sure everyone is focused on the tear as you square it into the packet. And now everything is pretty much done. All you need to do now is take this packet and you're going to place it into your pocket. And that's it. You place it into your pocket, you get the spectator to place their packet into their pocket. You do a little thing where you say, I'm going to try and find your card from my pocket as quickly as possible, or you can do you can dress up the presentation however you want for this, but that's the variation I use. And now we say we found their card so quickly and we did it so quickly we're able to place it into the spectator's packet, which of course is unbelievable. So when they reach into their pocket and spread through those face-up cards and see a card with a tear in it that's face down in the packet and it is their side selection, they will freak out because it is so good, this trick. I really enjoy performing it. And then obviously if they want to check your packet, all you have to do is take the cards out and just, you've got so much freedom. You can spread these cards, you can fan these cards, as long as the tear is not facing away from you. But yeah, it looks as if there is nothing wrong with these cards at all. So yeah. So that is the card to pocket trick that I learned from Rick Lax on their free download. So if you enjoyed that, please make sure to like and subscribe. With all that said, I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.